the On the Record legal panel is back. Former homicide detective and criminal defense attorney Ted Williams and former prosecutor Katie Fink. Katie, no big surprise. We predicted this last week. I mean, you can't force this guy to testify. This officer, he's a Fifth Amendment right. He's got a trial pending.
If it was as easy as Mosby's office has claimed it's going to be for them to say that Judge Williams did the right thing, then why didn't this appellate court say, you're absolutely right, we're going to sustain what Judge Williams has ordered? What's ultimately fascinating about this is Mosby's office has filed documents, legal documents that stated that if Porter does not testify in the Goodson and White trials, it will, quote, effectively gut the state's case.
Which is the insane part of this. And you wonder, what law school did all these prosecutors go to, which is so insane.
How did you not anticipate this?
Ted, even if the officer there hadn't been a mistrial and he had been convicted, he would still have his Fifth Amendment right through the appeals process. How are they planning to make this case against Goodson anyway? What are they thinking?
Greta, it's debatable what they're thinking, but you're absolutely right.
I don't think it's debatable. They weren't thinking.
If they got a conviction against Porter was going to appeal, and he still would have been able to exercise his Fifth Amendment rights. They're in a quandary right now.
I don't know where you find so many prosecutors in one office that don't know the law, and where you find a judge that likewise doesn't know the law. I mean, what are the odds? I mean, I think I'd more likely win the Powerball. Katie?
I think you're right, but you know, you do have the law, and it's going to be an issue of first impression, as we heard from Griff, and because it's going to be an issue of first impression, it'll continue to go to the highest court in Maryland, which is their Supreme Court. So do not expect anything to happen anytime soon. There's other officers that have to be tried, and it's all going to be pushed back now.
Which is Officer White, no matter what, won't have Officer Porter testifying as Mosley wants, because this appeal is going to take at least a year.
It's going to take some time. Now, the Court of Special Appeal, it can be kicked up to the Court of Appeals, and the Court of Appeals can make a decision right away.
They can move quickly as an emergency basis, but you have to wonder, it's like, what are these prosecutors thinking? I mean, we're back to that again.
Stuck on stupid. Just dumbness. That's what you found here. Desperation is set in at this stage, unfortunately. And you've got officers' lives that are out there. These poor officers are suffering as a result of Mosby coming out like this.
Well, it gets dragged on, too. It goes on and on and on. I mean, they should have a trial. They should have a fair trial. They should have a swift trial. I mean, that's the whole point, is to have, is to make sure that you have your, speedy trial. But it's like, what I can't understand, I can just go back to the fact that when they decided, Katie, that they would try Porter first, the prosecutors expected to get a conviction, and they knew that Goodson's trial was supposed to start today, but they knew that they should have known they couldn't call Porter at that time, because even if he had a conviction, he would be appealing his conviction. So this is all a little bit bizarre.
It's a horrible reflection of Mosby and her lack of preparation, and I think an example of incompetence from her office. Any good lawyer has to anticipate the good and the bad. And the fact that they procedurally did not expect that this could be an ultimate consequence of Porter's hung jury from his trial just goes to show a level of arrogance on the part of Marilyn Mosby. I think, again, it's time for her to reconsider the fact that she may want to offer better deals to not only Porter, but to everybody else who's in this.
All right, she's an elected official.
Right.
Her husband's running for mayor. He's election.
Absolutely.
Is the judge in Maryland elected or appointed?
The judge is appointed for a 15-year term normally in most of these venues, and I think that would be Maryland.
Then he has to be affirmed by the voters?
He has to go back before the General Assembly and move on from there.
How much do you think that Mosley's decision is political based on the fact her husband's running for mayor?
I absolutely believe a great deal of it is political, because she's in a quandary right now. She cannot let Porter off the hook completely, because...
Can I tell you, if it's political, that's so unconscionable. That is absolutely unconscionable on the part of this prosecutor.
It was political for her to come out initially with a rush to judgment against these police officers before she had all the ducks in a row.
It's just incredible. Anyway, Ted, Katie, thank you, and we'll be watching this trial.
Absolutely.